What's up, guys? I wanted to get on here and go over some simple programming solutions for you or your athletes if you're dealing with high school kids that are always in season, they're always competing, they always have games. Just some simple solutions, or at least a way that we do it. So this is a real life or a real gym example of what we had going on really recently. So a normal week for us in one of these circuits might be a top quarter squat ISO, just an overcoming ISO, driving into pins. We might pair that with a flywheel quarter squat with a medium or large wheel. So 3x6, medium, large wheel. It's going to feel a little slower. You're going to get a little bit more of a strength effect on that. And then we'll finish up that tricep with a depth jump to a hurdle. Our depth jump on those, we want to be at or above our regular standing vert. And then a lot of times that hurdle will actually be above our standing vert there. And we'll do 3 sets of 2. To contrast that with what we might do during a tournament or a game week over here, I like to keep that top quarter squat ISO. I think overcoming ISOs are a great way to produce a lot of output, a lot of force without really beating you up that bad. So we keep that pretty much the same. We'll keep our flywheel quarter squat for 3x6, but now we'll do a small wheel. So now we're kind of thinking about overloading with more velocity instead of more load or more inertia on that thing. And then we'll keep our depth jump, but now instead of going over a hurdle, we'll go to a box. So it takes out half of those landing forces. We'll also typically lower our depth jump box height. So where we might go in a normal week at or above our best standing vert, on a tournament week or a game day, we might do that at or below our best standing vert. So again, it's just less landing forces that they have to deal with, but they'll feel like they're really quick off the floor. For our lift, on a normal week, we were doing a barbell box squat, 4 sets of 5. We had a tendo unit on that, and we were cutting people off when they dipped down into the 0.4 average velocity meters per second range there. So like their fastest rep might be somewhere around 0.60, and then their slowest rep might be somewhere around 0.40 for 4 sets of 5. We paired that with a seated dumbbell jump off of a box. They were holding about 20% of their max squat in their hands with dumbbells. And then we were finishing that up, rounding that off with a seated jump measured on either the OVR sticks or a jump mat. So seated jumps measured, again, just a little bit more stress because it's measured and they're going to have to write down a number. So it's just a little more taxing because it's measured. Pair that, or contrasting that with what we might do on a tournament week or a game day. We'll keep that same barbell box squat, but instead of 4 sets of 5, we'll do 3 sets of 3. All right, so we're going to cut off about half the volume. We're also going to raise the speed cutoff up a little bit. So instead of cutting them off in the 0.4s, we'll cut them off a little bit faster in the 0.5s. For 3 sets of 3, that means they're probably going to get 2 reps in the 0.6s on that. And then they'll dip down into the 0.5s. They're going to feel really fast, and they're going to feel like they could have done another 4 or 5 reps probably. We'll keep our seated dumbbell jumps, but now we'll go to a box. So again, just instead of having to land from however high they're jumping with the dumbbells, instead of having to land from that far up, now they're just going to land a little bit because they're going to be up to a box. Same weight, 20% roughly, give or take 5 pounds in each hand. Of their max squat. We'll finish that up with a seated box jump typically. So instead of measuring a seated jump and just again causing more stress there, now let's just go to a seated box jump. The box height is going to be at or below their best vert. So they're going to feel like they're able to float the box. It's not going to be very taxing at all. Honestly, studies have shown that doing something like this, they're going to feel really fast, really explosive. The kid's probably going to feel better leaving than they did when they came in. And doing some of these things like the overcoming ISOs, the dumbbell jumps, the faster speed on the squats, it's been shown to make you jump a little bit higher for the next 48 to 72 hours. It's been shown to make you just a little bouncier, a little more explosive for the next 48 to 72 hours. So doing something like this before a game or before a tournament could actually be super beneficial for the kid. So make adjustments as necessary. Just keep in mind that we always want to try to do what's best for the athlete in front of us. The goal is to get better, not necessarily get beat up. There is a time and place in the calendar for stuff like that. And unfortunately for most high school kids, it's hard to find that time and place because they're always competing. So we always have to sort of work around it. But here's a simple way, and it just kind of proves that you don't have to overhaul your entire program. You can, for the most part, use the exact same program, just make these little teeny tiny minor tweaks that are going to just be more beneficial for the kids. So reach out if you have any questions. I hope this helps. Hope you guys can see this. If not, maybe I'll put up a picture of it or something like that. Peace.